right, happy Thursday. Let's go over our bell ringer. Today's bell ringer comes from your benchmark test. There were many questions that we absolutely crushed on our benchmark, but this is not one of them. So let's go through it, break it down, see how to get the correct answer. So, a scientist crosses two pea plants with yellow colored seeds and grows the offspring. So you have a yellow pea plant, they cross and make new pea plants. The scientist records the colors of the seeds produced by the resulting offspring in a table. So here's the table. All it says is what colors happened and how many of those pea plants were yellow, so 75%, and how many of them were green, so 25%. So how can parent plants with yellow seeds produce offspring plants with green seeds? So the question is saying, how come when we had two plants that were totally yellow, why did a small amount of them, 25%, turn out green? How did that happen? So you're going to pick the answer that explains how that went down. So these questions these answers all look pretty similar, but there's two main things that we're deciding between. First, the first part of each answer says the gene for yellow seeds is recessive to the gene for green seeds, or are we saying that the gene for green seeds is recessive? So remember, we have dominant and recessive. If a dominant allele is present, you only need one copy to show up. It will be seen in the phenotype. So if you just have one copy, because remember for each gene we're going to have two alleles, one from each parent. If one of them is dominant, you're going to see that trait. If it's recessive, you need to have both of the alleles be recessive to show up. That's those two lowercase letters. So if we have parents that are both yellow, and then we have an offspring that is green, clearly they got the green allele from somewhere. It wasn't at random. So both of the parents must have had the green alleles in their genotype, but they weren't showing up as green. So that means that the recessive gene in this case is going to be green because they had it, but they weren't showing it. You weren't seeing it in that phenotype. So they obviously had a copy for yellow, and since they only had one copy, it showed up, which means that it is the dominant trait. So green is recessive, yellow is dominant. So we can automatically get rid of choice A and get rid of choice C. Okay, so what's the difference between B and D? So we're deciding in A, it says the parents had both, I'm looking at the wrong choice. And B, it says the parents had both genes. And in D, it says some plants only got genes from one parent. So one thing that's never going to change with sexual reproduction is you're going to get genes from both parents, one from the mother, one from the father. You are never going to get genes from just the one parent. Both of the parents are going to contribute an allele. So we know that D is not going to be it. So the correct answer in this case is B. Okay, go ahead and type down your answer, type down the explanation, and I'll see you down below at direct instruction.